Hi, I'm Amy Okerlander, Mayor of the City of Duvall, and I'm here to give you a recap of our March 20th, 2018 City Council meeting. You'll notice that we haven't had these for a while. Getting up to speed, it's been hard to get these on the calendar, but we're hoping to do updates after every City Council meeting and provide additional information to the city as it's relevant. So first up, on our City Council Committee of the Whole, our City Council received a wellness committee presentation from our staff. That's a program that is operated through the Association for Washington Cities, and those that meet all the qualifications get a reduction on our health insurance premiums, which saves your taxpayer dollars. Perhaps the most interesting part of Committee of the Whole was a presentation by Planning Director and Deputy City Administrator Ms. Laura Thomas on the pre-application updates resulting from the end of our residential building moratorium. She gave an update on several projects that have come in just for initial review that may be applying for application this upcoming year. For the regular City Council meeting, we had a relatively light agenda this week. One of the key things that was on part of my presentation was my experience in Washington, D.C. last week for the National League of Cities Congressional Cities Conference. It was filled with forums and panels on important issues to the city of Duvall, like infrastructure funding and broadband development, court preemption and federal rule preemption on allowing what state and local governments can do. I was also very fortunate to meet with our U.S. senators and our congressional representative, Congresswoman Susan Delbene, talking about issues that are important to our city of Duvall and our community. The key issue that we discussed is broadband access. As everyone in our community knows, we have a lack of service providers, and we don't have the speeds that folks want or the right reliability. There's a lot of work going on in Washington, D.C. right now to bridge the gap, and I took our story to them so that they can better understand what we're dealing with and our unique challenges, and so that they can take that story and share that as they continue to work on legislation. Additionally, we had discussions about the infrastructure plan at the federal level. That funding plan will help fund roads and broadband and all sorts of things nationwide. That money will end up filtering down to Washington State, and hopefully some of those dollars will filter down to us. Primarily, we did discuss what our issues are with transportation in Duvall, and that is that we have a significant portion of our traffic that is coming into and passing through Duvall when they should be using state highways. The federal government has a major role in funding those highways, and they need to hear what's going on with us locally so that they can, again, impact things at the federal level. Finally, one of the big discussions that we had is the city's capital facilities planning. The City Council a few weeks ago decided to make a priority updating our capital facilities plan, which includes all of our buildings in town, and also looking at a future city hall and community center. From my perspective, that community center also needs to house an emergency operations center. We don't have one right now, and that also could be the key to obtaining federal grant funding and qualifying for funding that can help us reduce the burden on local taxpayers in the future when that building gets built, if it gets built. Next up, I had some really great news to report from the Washington State Legislative Session. Our Senator Moncadingra included $50,000 in the State Senate supplemental capital budget to help fill the gap to fund our new community stage. I'm proud to report that State Representatives Larry Springer and Representative Roger Goodman were successful in getting that in the House capital budget, and at the end of session when that was reconciled, Duvall is receiving $50,000, and we will be getting a new stage this year. Excellent news for the city of Duvall, and thank you to our state legislators for helping make Duvall a priority. Next up, really big for our community, we just had the completion of Big Rock ball fields and the turf put in, but what we were lacking is the bathrooms, and this has been an ongoing discussion for several years. If we're going to improve the fields, community needs bathrooms and a desire for a concession stand. We are on the verge of receiving approximately $160,000 appropriation from the state to help us fund those bathrooms. The City Council on Tuesday approved moving forward with the grant process, and the next step will be approving the city to move forward and go out to bid for that project. If that project comes in, at the dollar amount that the City Council authorizes, we'll have new bathrooms hopefully by this fall. That would be a great asset to Big Rock Ballfields and hopefully set the stage for future improvements at other existing parks. With that, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and I look forward to hearing from you.